Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, has announced the donation of 3 billion naira to KEBBI flood victims. Edun, who was in KEBBI on Saturday, for the spot assessment of damages on rice farms at Argungu local government area of KEBBI State, said that the Federal Executive Council has approved the sum of 3 billion naira as support to farmers who lost crops to ravaging flood. He also took turns to visit Wakot rice mills, where he was shown round by the governor to see the production capacity of the rice mills. While expressing satisfaction over what he saw at the company, he said that the rice mills had created thousands of direct and indirect jobs. We are happy with what we have seen here, which shows that KEBBI alone, if well funded, can feed the entire nation. Minister Wale Edun argues that President Tinubu is ready to help in the expansion of the rice mills and other mini rice millers in KEBBI to boost mass food production, which will go a long way in reducing flood inflation in the country and to create more jobs for Nigerians. His host, the governor of KEBBI State, Dr. Nasiru Idris, appealed to the president to come to the aid of KEBBI rice farmers adversely affected by heavy flood that have washed away some rice or crops in rice farms. We appeal to President to assist our flood victims, particularly the rice farmers whose farm were devastated by flood, to at least mitigate their loss. Idris informed the minister that KEBBI alone can feed the nation, as they have supported farmers with free fertilizers, free seedlings, free pumping machines to fast-track farming activities in the states. Now, these were some of the things that were donated. He noted that as soon as the wet seasons run out, the state is ready to engage in massive dry season farming with same support and encouragement to farmers. The minister was accompanied by the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Senator Atiku Bagudu. That had to be added to the story. Ambassador.
Well, I want to thank Mr. President through the federal government for being apt to the response of the KEBBI victims of the flood.
Yes.
I'd like to condole with them again and ask that the good Lord will comfort them. But I also want to say that, yes, the good Lord has brought comfort with the approval and the support of 3 billion naira given to the KEBBI State flood victim. So it should be noted that this money is not given to KEBBI State government to fund agriculture.
Yes.
This money is given to the flood victims,
yes,
not to KEBBI State government. But the scenario that we see in most instances, we are trusting that KEBBI will be a different state, that this money targeted to the flood victim should actually get to these flood victims. It's not a question of setting up a committee, rent a new office duplex, furnish it, buy a car for the committee members, and begin to apportion impress and begin to apportion running costs for their offices. It's not necessary. These people are local people. The local government authorities, the councillors, the chiefs, the religious leaders know these people. So it's not a situation of forming a new board, a new commission to see how 1 billion will go to board members first, buy cars for them, set up new secretariat for this board just for this 3 billion naira. So sometimes the way government implement the good intentions of the federal government is very, very inimical to the people. So I like to say that as KEBBI people are jubilating over this support, 3 billion naira is not 3 naira. You know, I want to say Mr. President have done well. You know, I see him most of the time as a president, this is a problem, we need this amount of money, or I take. But the problem is that we don't see the visibility of that approvals most times.
You're saying the president is usually quick to release funds?
With many instances and programs that we have seen him approves, launch, and then release funds for. So I'd like to say that in this case of KEBBI State, the governor should not set up a board to use this 3 billion naira.
How do you disburse it without setting up a board?
No, you don't need to set a board. The board itself has financial demand. So for them to function as a board, they will buy cars for them. They will get a secretary, they will equip it. So we don't need all this money to go to any board. There are local government authorities. Local government chairmen are there. Councillors are there. traditional rulers are there, opinion leaders are there, religious leaders are there who know their people.
Okay, so because before you said this, I was wondering how they were going to locate the actual farmers.
They just need to meet opinion leaders, traditional rulers, religious leaders, councillors, local government chairman. They have to work with the local government chairman, work with the councillors, work with religious leaders, opinion leaders, traditional rulers, youth leaders, women leaders who know their people.
That's already looking like a board.
No, it's not a board.
What is wrong with happy? Okay, you already said the expenses.
Yes, a board has a legal backing. The assembly needs to, approve. There are bureaucracies that will take a lot of time. As a board chairman, I will need an official car. I will need a secretariat.
To move around.
I will need impress. I will need money for, so we don't need all of that. The local government chairman will not be asking for money if he's a genuine local government chairman. A councillor will not be thinking of how it will benefit him. So that's why we are saying use the local government authority, the councillors, use the opinion leaders, use youth leaders, women leaders, religious leaders, traditional rulers, and see how you can assess these people. And again, if there are areas that they need, to rehabilitate their pipe-borne water, this and that, government can, take place. So it's not about...
This money is meant for flood victims. That's farmers who have lost their crops to the flood. It's not meant for infrastructural development.
No. Flood victims, particularly to also enable them recover from their loss in farming.
Yes, of course.
The victim is not everybody that is a farmer that is a victim of that flood. It's flood victim.
It's meant for farmers who lost their crops to the flood. This is more like encouraging agriculture in the state. Okay. So a lot of farmers have lost a lot of money.
So if it is just for farmers, I think it's also good, and I believe that the government of the state will now take care of the other areas that the flood victims are also in need of. Of course,
that's why the government is there, and there are monies that are allocated for that. So you cannot say this money should be used for pipe-borne water.
For me, the intention of the federal government should be implemented. If it is for the farmers, let it be for the farmers. And then we now trust that those who are not farmers, who are into other kind of businesses, who have also suffered loss because of the flood, the state government can also intervene in their regards.
All right, so we are hoping that this money is well channeled. But do you see, so much the news has told us that the federal government is doing for farmers, right, to encourage agriculture. But while we are trying to encourage agriculture and the production of goods, food products and all of that, what about the security aspect? Would you say we have measurable steps that are also taken to protect farmlands in Nigeria?
Well, I think
or even farmers, yes.
Well, first of all, security is everybody's business. Not all farmers needs, the kind of security in quote that we are looking at. A farmer in some part of this country do not need the presence of a military official, for them to farm.
That's not the only form of security that we have.
I understand. That's what I'm saying.
Because calling a military official, that's like you're trying to go extreme.
That's what I'm saying. That the kind of security that is needed in a particular geopolitical zone or state or rural area may not be the type another local farming area needs.
But you agree that they all need security?
Every farmer. That's why a farmer goes with cutlass. If you see a snake,
security purpose.
If you see a snake, you can use the cutlass to
We're
kill.
not talking about security from snakes.
No. I understand.
We both understand what we're saying.
Yes. Now, you are aware, maybe we need to re-emphasize that the federal government have approved the issue of
10,000 rangers that people have stated, a lot of Nigerians have said will not even be enough. Some people have even said will not be enough for a state. That was distributed to 20.
Last time I was here, I said federal government have taken a lead, an initiative. The state government can complement. The local government can complement. the local villagers can complement.
The kind of security that a lot of these farms need, or a lot of these states needs, if the state governments could, you know, handle it all the while, I believe that they would have. But we have heard stories where even state governors are calling on the federal government to come help them protect their farmers.
You know, that's why I said that if you as a governor, you can no longer protect the lives and property of your state, the best thing you need to do is to resign. You can't ask Mr. President to leave Abuja to come and protect your state.
No, of course nobody's asking
so
for that.
you need to put up the security measures. If it is the area you need the approval from the federal government, that's where you can say, His Excellency, Mr. President, would like you to direct the IGP. Are you getting it? The so-so chief, security chief, for them to do this and that.
Are you taking the federal government away from the picture of security in these states and these farms?
The states, the local government, the states, the community leaders are the ones that will recommend the security challenges that they are having.
You think they have not done that?
When you are saying federal government should come, federal government is not spirit. Everybody has their areas of jurisdiction. The federal government supervises. The federal government supports and complements what the states have. So I think that the part of the primary responsibility of a local government chairman, of a state governor, is to protect lives and what? Properties. So if you can no longer do that, the law gives you the privilege to resign. If you cannot protect lives and properties of your state's citizens, what are you doing there as a governor or as a local government chairman? So I think the era of saying federal government should come. No. Who is federal government? So all you need to do is that we are having this security.
When they are saying that the federal government should get involved or calling the attention of the federal government, it's just simply saying release the security operatives to come down to my states to handle this particular issue.
You see,
give the order. You have heard, I think you were a guest on this show where I had another guest via Zoom from Lagos, where you both were having the argument of the security being centralized, security system in Nigeria being centralized and all of that. It already shows you that they need the federal government has a role to play, and we cannot completely wipe that out of the picture.
In that same event, I told you that there is not all matters that you need the IGP. The DPOs, the station officers, they have some level of authority given to them, the area commands. You are getting it? You know, before you even come to the states in general. It's not all matter that the SO will have to take approval from the DPO. It's not all matter that the DPO will take approval from the area commander. Neither the area commander from the commissioner of police.
That's just the police you're talking about. We have other arms
it's the same thing with
security. We still have the military and all that. There was a state that recorded recently that immediately the military left that particular area in the state, insecurity increased, and the state governor had to advise people to leave that part to safer parts of that, and he called on the federal government to come intervene.
You see, most at times there are some units in the police system and the army system that is directly controlled either by the IGP. And there are some units that all of them still respond to the commissioner of police. Now, if there is a need for, sometimes our leaders come to the public to exonerate themselves. Security matters are not matters mainly that should be discussed in the public. So all what we are expecting most times is the proactiveness of our leaders to say, in this locality that we are having this issue, we have set up a committee to look into the matter. We have also set up a collaboration with the security operatives to see how they can, you know, clamp down on the issues that is challenging that locality. And we are trusting that we also want the support of the Mr. President in directing the IGP, because the governor can't direct the IGP. They can only relate with the state commissioner of police, the brigade commander, or thereabout.
That means you still agree. If you have stated the limitation of the governor in the security matters of the state, that means you also agree that the federal government has a big role to play, and it's not out of place for the state government to call on the federal government to come intervene in the issue of security in the state.
No, we are not saying it's wrong. What we are saying is that it should not always be pushed to the federal government.
Is it always being pushed to the federal government?
You see, when a little thing said, we call on Mr. President.
Not a little thing. Banditry is not a little thing in Nigeria.
We agree. We agree. If we want to stay here and discuss security issues, we will not go here today. So
do you want to go?
No, we have other issues. So
we still have the time allocated to this particular story is still available.
Yes,
so feel free to give your thoughts on it. Yes.
Now, one is the responsibility of the state governors, local government chairmen, to protect lives and properties. If they do not know how to do it, they shouldn't have even assumed that office, because it's part of their the major responsibilities. So the big question is, if you did not know what to do, why did you aspire to become a governor?
You can't say the governor does not know what to do.
No. If what you knew...
If the federal government... Okay, why did the federal government release the 10,000 agro rangers around
the federal government released, approved, are you getting it? Directed. It doesn't mean that the state governor cannot collaborate with the...
bring up the other number.
He can collaborate. He can as well raise, what do you call it, some kind of interim security system like we have in Rivers State and some other states that assisted, in curbing the issues of kidnap cases, cultism in most of our localities. They know what to do. So if the federal government have say, okay, we are supporting with this, the state government still knows what to do. You can't expect that all the police, all the civil defense should be deployed to one state because of one matter.
Nobody said that.
Like I told you,
they're just saying 10,000 is not enough for even the 19 states.
And I have mentioned to you that the security operatives all are shortage of manpower. They don't have enough police in the system.
Should that be an excuse for insecurity?
Do you want to join police? They are looking for more recruits. People are not ready.
Are you asking Nigerians if they want to join?
I'm asking. The issue is that if there's time for recruitment and there are Nigerians who are ready to be recruited and they refuse to recruit them, you will know that is intentional. But in this case, we have shortage of manpower. They are killing most of the security operatives in the front of war. So every day we are losing people. And then we are also asking for recruitment.
No, we have a lot of people who are when we hear that there have been new people are being recruited, or we hear that they just graduated, like the military school that they were just graduated from recently. We hear thousands. So I really haven't seen anyone come out to say that Nigerians do not want to get involved.
No. You see, the population.
In fact, what they're even saying is that a lot of people who are coming in are not people who are really interested in it. It's a result of unemployment. That's why we have a lot of Nigerians trooping into the force.
So you can equally see, but I can tell you for free that we don't have enough manpower. When you can ask and see.
Yes. Talking about not having enough manpower.
Yes, we don't have.
We know.
So if we don't, you can't give what you don't have. You can't give what you don't have. So the 10,000 is what the government have seen.
That's what I'm asking. Should that be an excuse? You're saying, because we do not know, so the federal government to come out and tell Nigerians, so because we do not have enough manpower, that's why we are sending 10,000 to 19 states and the FCT.
They have looked at it and said 10,000 is designated. That's from the Nigerian Civil Defense Corps, right? Mm-hmm. The police too will look at. We have instances of joint task forces, right? So if the civil defense have released theirs 10,000, the police will look at their manpowers and say, okay, this is the much we can support with. The other sister agencies will look at their own system and say, this is what we can support with. And then the local government will also collaborate with their local indigents to say, okay, what do we do? There are most times joint task forces that collaborate with local vigilantes.
Because one would wonder, if it's a federal government initiative, when that was being discussed, what happened to all of these measures that you just mentioned now?
No, you see, when security measures, like I said, it's not everything you can't be told what led to that. Are you getting it? Security discussions are not mainly, the strategies are not discussed on
completely.
Yes, completely. You only have information most of the times where it is necessary. Because if you begin to inform the criminal of what government is
like
doing.
we usually do sometimes.
So you are
we tell them, okay, this is where we are at the moment, and we are coming for the criminals. So you're asking, why are you telling the criminals where exactly you are?
Exactly.
All right, at this point, let's go on a short break, and when we return after a few minutes, the conversation will continue with other interesting stories